Yeah, that was probably the strength of our game. I thought we started a little slow again tonight. We're just kind of dipping our toes in the game early on, and North Bay came out very physical and energized. And we had to get on our guys to kind of wake up and get going. But, that first goal was huge for us to kind of settle the game down a little bit. And I thought in the second, third period we did a better job checking with our feet and checking with our sticks. So give the guys credit for hanging in there. We bent, we didn't break. And obviously now we're going back to North Bay for Game 3.
Coach, you talked about the third period earlier, but your team had sustained offensive zone pressure. You put your fourth line out there. Their top line comes over the boards. Your fourth line was able to keep the pressure in their zone. Your team had shot up 1.62 to 1 at the third period. How important is that to get all four lines going first?
Well, you have to give our fourth line a lot of credit, Franny and Tristan and Grazy. They haven't seen a lot of ice time in the playoffs so far. We're trying to keep them motivated, trying to keep them engaged in the game. And obviously playing this many games in this short a time over the next week, is we have to use the fourth line. And, you just have to kind of be at peace by putting them on the ice. And, those kids are going to surprise you. And I thought they did a great job right from their first shift of the game. They had some O-zone time. They didn't have much D-zone time. And give them credit. In that third period, our penalty kill came up huge to get that penalty kill to start the period. They had a good look on it. And then we just kind of settled into shutting it down and checking the way we're supposed to. There were some errors, but that's junior hockey. But at the end of the day, give our guys a lot of credit playing that way in front of Jacob. And we know if there's a mistake to be made, Jacob's pretty good at coming up and saving the bacon for the guys. But that fourth line, obviously they're going to get more time tomorrow night in North Bay because, obviously, to be honest, they've earned it.
Coach, that sustained zone pressure in the third period and a long stretch of the first half of that period went without a whistle. How does your coaching change in that sense when you're just continuing to roll through the lines and not getting really any stoppages or any face-offs at that point?
Well, the message is if we're going to have sustained pressure and you're going to have no whistles, it's all about the changes, right? We had some really good changes in that third period. We got fresh legs out every time to sustain that pressure. And give McIver a lot of credit. He made some big saves there to keep that game at 2-0. It could have been 3 or 4-0. And they're they defend well. They're a hard team to play against. They're big, strong, they're heavy, they're physical, and obviously part of our game plan is try and have some O-zone time just like North Bay. But our guys were staying above pucks. They had good sticks. They were tracking back and reloading. And usually when you have that formula, you're going to have success. So give the guys a lot of credit. Sometimes in the third period when you're up a couple goals, your team tends to relax a little bit. I thought our team did a real good job in the last two games of almost excelling in the third period. We kind of took over the game, so that's a good sign for us going forward. We have a huge challenge going into North Bay. Great junior hockey rink, great junior hockey town. The fans are loud. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and it's going to be a great experience for our young team to experience.
Lastly, I know you had 10 power plays in the first two games, only scored twice, but when you have the man advantage for that long, you're able to really wear down the penalty killer. Just how key is that from the coaching standpoint to know that their guys are getting worn out in the offensive zone with all those man advantages that you're able to draw in the series so far?
You have to give North Bay a lot of credit in their penalty kill. They've disrupted our power play a little bit. I made a change to the breakout the last power play. We ended up getting in the zone, get set, and we scored a goal. And we made a little bit of a fundamental change, and so we did score a goal on that. The 4-on-3, I didn't like our execution. I didn't like our tempo. We kind of went off on our own page a little bit, and when you tend to do that, it doesn't work. But give the kids credit on that last power play. I think Rich scored the goal. We had net front presence, and just you shoot pucks on net, good things happen. That's one thing early in the game. We had a couple really good looks early in the game, and we passed it off. And we have to have that mindset of shooting pucks and creating that havoc and creating that chaos. And it's the same thing on the power play. You can't get too cute. It's playoffs. You got to put pucks in the net.
Well, I was going to ask about the power play, but you answered already. So, what has impressed you the most about the way your team has played these first two games? What have you really noticed about the way everybody's played?
Our group is very resilient. If you look at our group probably from December on, these kids have really come together. They're playing for themselves. They play for each other. They play as a family. And that being said, night in, night out, just the way they talk on the bench, the way they care for each other, and that goes a long way in the game, right? You get all your structure, you get all your compete, you get all your intensity, But at the end of the day, these kids really care for each other, like most teams do in junior hockey or pro hockey. But it's just how much they care for each other. That's the difference. And when you get to this point in the season, like we're an inexperienced group in the playoffs, and part of our coaching is every game has a different narrative, right? And you have to learn from that narrative going forward for the next game, especially tomorrow night. It's going to be a quick turnaround. So we have to band together a lot tighter, a lot harder in a 24 hours, because we're going into a hostile arena that's got a lot of energy, and I can't wait to see our guys in there tomorrow night.
And one question that I wanted to answer from both Jacob and you on, what did you think when he tried to score with about a minute to go? Were you like, that's fine, I don't mind it, or please don't try that?
Well, you know what? He didn't have an option to kick it out to a D-man. They did a really good job of taking the walls away. That's probably the only play that Jacob had, or either take the whistle, which we didn't want to take. So we'll take the forecheck down the ice, and if we end up taking an icing call, that's fine. But I have no problem with that. At the end of the day, just as long as it gets out, if he fans on it, then that's just a different story.
And coaches, ahead of Game 3 tomorrow in North Bay, quick turnaround, we've talked about that. Do you expect anything different from the battalion side, opening up the game and throughout the game tomorrow in North Bay?
Well, I don't. They came out hard both games. They came out physical, and obviously with Armsby back in the lineup, he showed his physical presence early in the game, and I thought we did a good job of getting through it. But obviously, I haven't been in North Bay in the playoffs before. From what I understand, it's an incredible atmosphere, and I think it's outstanding that they're supporting their team like that. And I think it's great to see their team in the conference finals again, and just shows you the support for junior hockey and all the community. So it's great to see, and we're looking forward to it tomorrow night.